ladies and gentlemen, to the weekly wrestling wrap-up. I am your host, Legend Killer, a.k.a. Cody, and tonight we have a very special show. Tonight we're joined by Ring of Honor and indie superstar Claudio Castagnoli.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
We want to welcome him to the show. I'm a huge fan of him personally, and a lot of our forum members are as well. So.
Well, thank you very much for having me on the show. Thank you for being a big fan, and thank you for supporting me and wrestling in general.
All right, no problem. This interview can last as long as you'd like, Claudio. It's all
right.
up to you. Just let us know when you have to go.
All right, well, it was very nice talking to you, and we'll talk to you another time. No, I'm just kidding. Let's get it started.
All right. We have plenty of questions asked by our forum members, and a couple people that would like to call in and ask you questions themselves. So.
All right, that's fine.
Let's get into it, I guess.
Yeah, let's start it.
Our first question is from one of my forum moderators. His name is Comic Geek Kelly. He is a huge fan of independent wrestling. He's probably the biggest supporter I know. He wants to know which is more of an enjoyable place to work for you, Ring of Honor or Chikara?
You know, I get this question a lot, and I think both places are equally enjoyable, even if it will be for different reasons. You know, Chikara is a very fun atmosphere, and it's just a completely different audience and completely different product, I think, from Ring of Honor or any other wrestling product, for that matter, that's out on the market right now. So that's enjoyable for what it is. And Ring of Honor is, of course, always a great challenge with, the wrestler and the caliber of people that are there. That's not a takeaway with the wrestlers and the caliber that's at the Chikara shows. I think it's just two completely different entities, and I think both are equal as fun.
All right. Chikara obviously are very well known for their comedy wrestling. Some of the funnier moments in wrestling actually happen in Chikara.
Definitely.
I live like 15 minutes outside of Philly.
Oh, cool.
I'm very, very blessed to see a lot of Chikara action. So, another question we have regarding that was about the Ted Petty Invitational Tournament, not so much regarding Chikara, but one of our members, Shining Wiz, asked, how did you like working the 2008 TPI? And what was it like to work against Sarah Del Rey at the Ted Petty Invitational?
I really enjoyed that Ted Petty Invitational because, it gave me a chance to wrestle a lot of different people that I would have never dreamed that I had the chance of staying in the ring with. One of them being, Dave Taylor, who I trained with a while back. And that was definitely, a dream come true. And then, standing in the ring with Sarah Del Rey, and I guess if you saw the match, you've seen that she kicks pretty hard. So, that was a different challenge on a completely different level because, a lot of the female wrestling that's seen on TV right now, people just think it's, fun and ha-ha. But, there's some women's wrestlers out there that are in there for wrestling, and they're tremendous athletes, and Sarah Del Rey is one of the top ones for sure. I can attest that, from my own personal experience.
Okay. You said you trained with Dave Taylor. One of our chat members, Vintage, wants to know, where did you train?
That was in. Dave Taylor used to have a little training camp down in Atlanta in Peachtree City, and I think it was in 2002 or 3. Don't quote me on that because my memory is quite bad sometimes. But it was one of those 2 years that I went down there to train with him, and actually William Regal and Fit Finlay both showed up in that training week as well. And I was actually there with Jimmy Jacobs. He would be the only one of the 5 guys I was there with that you would know.
Okay. I want to take our first caller. He's been on since the show started, waiting to ask you a question. So
all right,
I'll let him on now. Mitch, you're on the line with Claudio. Ask away.
Kings of Wrestling is one of my favorite tag teams of the 21st century, definitely. And I was just wondering if there was any chance of a Kings of Wrestling reunion at any time.
I I don't know. I get this question actually a lot, and never say never. That's for sure. The Kings of Wrestling were actually wrestling together this year in Japan, where we still team. It was in January for Pro Wrestling Noah. Me and Chris Hero were there for 1 month on a tour, and we would team on a regular basis as the Kings of Wrestling. Of course, coming out to Sharp Dressed Men. I don't know about the U.S. reunion or about the U.S. Stuff, but never say never. Keep your fingers crossed, and thank you for the support.
All right, great. I have another question.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite wrestler to work with and wrestle against?
I get this. It's the same thing here. Like, I get this question a lot, and I never know how to answer it because there's always somebody new that comes along that are in the ring with, and then it's like, oh, that person is it right now, and then it changes again, and it changes again, and it changes again. There's a bunch of people that are definitely always a big challenge. For example, American Dragon Bryan Danielson, just for the fact that he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, and he always is in top shape. He always has, is always a big challenge. Mike Quackenbush will be another one. Chris Hero, there's, I got asked before about, how I was wrestling Sarah Del Rey. Basically old top athletes that I step in the ring against, and I would consider all the aforementioned top athletes. They're all a big challenge, and I love being in the ring and being challenged. So I would say anybody who's a challenge for me.
All right. Thank you very much.
No problem. I hope that answered your question and didn't confuse you more.
All right. Thank you, Mitch, for that call. Now, you mentioned Sarah Del Rey. Do you consider her the best women's wrestler in the world, as she is known by a lot of fans?
I would say yes.
All right.
There's definitely some. I'm also a big fan of the old Japan women's with Asha Kong and Manami Toyota, and I'm a huge fan of Lioness Asuka, and those are some of the best female wrestlers in the world. But I think Sarah is definitely up there.
Okay. Stepping away from the indie scene, one of our forum members, Fudge, asked, was it true that you were close to signing with the WWE a little while back?
I actually signed with the WWE a little while back, which was about the end of 2006. And then, that deal never got, I would say I was never used. I was supposed to move down to OVW the end of December, and then I got a call, it was like the 19th, that, they will release me before I could even move down there. But that was that, but I was on the contract. I got paid. So, who knows what the future holds.
Okay. It's a shame, though. I would have liked to see you on a national product, but now that Ring of Honor is getting on TV, I've even noticed you've been on there, I think, 3 times in the 6 episodes. So
yeah,
you're getting some exposure from that.
Exactly. Actually, this Saturday it was me and Brent Albright. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Actually, I haven't DVR'd. I haven't watched it yet, but I plan on.
All right. You definitely should. It's a really good episode, all in all, in total. And of course, me and Brent Albright is worth watching alone. But it was a really good episode, and Ric Flair is on as well. So, I think anybody